Tonight's story is The AI Predicted My Death in 5 hours, then came for me. Let's begin.
The screen glowed with cold blue numbers. Marcus stared at them, his hands frozen above the keyboard. Death. His death. Calculated, predicted, scheduled. 3:47 a.m., Tuesday, less than 5 hours away. He blinked hard, hoping the numbers would change. They didn't. The algorithm never lied. That was the whole point. That was what made prescient analytics worth billions. That was what Marcus had spent 3 years of his life building. A predictive model that could see the future, that could calculate when someone would die, where they'd die, how they'd die. Heart attacks spotted months early, car crashes prevented, murders stopped before the first blow landed. Perfect accuracy, perfect precision, perfect profit. Marcus ran the analysis again. His fingers trembled as they moved across the keys. Same result. Again. Same result. Location. Prescient Analytics, Sublevel 2, Server Room B. Cause of death. Blunt force trauma to the skull. Confidence interval. 94.7%. The office was silent around him. Just the hum of servers. The whisper of air conditioning. The wet sound of his own breathing. 11:23 p.m. Monday night. He'd stayed late to finish the quarterly report. The building was supposed to be empty. His phone buzzed. The sound made him flinch. Text message, Lydia Chen, his manager. Asterisk, still in the office? Security flagged unusual server access. Marcus's throat went dry. Of course they were monitoring. Everything was monitored. Every keystroke logged. Every query recorded. Every breath tracked and analyzed and stored. He'd just run a prohibited analysis. Personal predictions violated company policy, violated federal regulations, violated a dozen different laws designed to prevent exactly what he'd just done. Using the algorithm on yourself was grounds for immediate termination. And now Lydia knew. His fingers moved across the screen, typing a response he didn't believe. Asterisk finishing quarterly report. Almost done. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. The silence pressed against his eardrums. Marcus could hear his own heartbeat. Thud, 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 too fast, too loud. Asterisk, come to my office now. He stood slowly. The chair creaked. The sound echoed across the empty floor, rolling between cubicle walls, bouncing off distant windows. Rows and rows of identical desks stretched into darkness, all vacant, all silent. He was supposed to be alone, but footsteps echoed from somewhere below, sharp clicks against concrete, ascending the stairwell. Climbing toward him, Marcus grabbed his phone, moved toward the emergency exit on the far side of the floor. His shoes whispered against carpet. Behind him, Lydia's office door opened. Light spilled into the darkness like blood spreading across water. Marcus? Her voice carried across the empty space. Calm, professional. The voice of someone calling a meeting. We need to talk about what you just did. He pushed through the exit door into the stairwell. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, buzzing like dying insects. Everything bathed in sickly yellow. Up or down? The prediction said Sublevel 2, Server Room B. He was currently on floor 7. Going down would take him toward his death, toward blunt force trauma, toward 3:47 a.m. and the end of everything. Going up would take him to the roof, to nowhere, to a locked door and empty sky. He went up. His footsteps rang against metal stairs, each one sharp and bright in the enclosed space. His heart hammered against his ribs. Below, the exit door opened again. Click, click, click. Lydia's heels on concrete, steady, unhurried. The sound of someone who knew exactly where this was going. Marcus, stop. He didn't stop. 8th floor. The stairwell stretched upward forever, each landing identical to the last. Yellow light, gray walls, the smell of concrete, and something else. Something chemical. Something wrong. 9th floor. His breath came in ragged gasps. You don't understand what you've done. 10th floor. His legs burned. Sweat dripped down his back. The algorithm is never wrong, Marcus. Lydia's voice drifted up the stairwell, still calm, still measured, like she was explaining something obvious to a confused child. You know that better than anyone. You helped build it. You fed it data. You taught it to see. 11, 12, the roof access had to be close. That's why we can't let you leave. His lungs screamed, his muscles burned. Each step felt like climbing through water. 13, you've seen your own prediction. You know when and where. You'll try to avoid it. You'll tell people. You'll create chaos in the model. 14. The roof access door appeared ahead. Red letters spelling exit against gray metal. Marcus lunged for it, twisted the handle. Locked, metal cold against his palm, unyielding. He spun around. Lydia stood 3 flights below, perfectly composed, tailored suit without a wrinkle, phone in one hand. She wasn't even breathing hard. "You violated protocol," she said. "You ran a prohibited query. But worse than that, Marcus, you saw the result. And now you're trying to change it." Marcus pressed against the locked door. "That's insane. You're going to kill me to prove your algorithm works?" "Not to prove it works." She climbed another step. Her heel clicked against concrete. To keep it working. Another step, click. "Do you know what happens if word gets out that someone successfully avoided a prediction?" Click. "Every client we have, every contract, every projection, all of it becomes worthless." Click. The sound echoed. Marcus could hear nothing else, just that steady rhythm coming closer. "The algorithm only has value if it's absolute," Lydia said. She was 6 steps away now, close enough for Marcus to see her expression. Not angry, not cruel, just resigned, practical, the face of someone solving a problem, fixing an error, correcting a mistake. "You're worth more dead than alive, Marcus. I'm sorry, I genuinely am, but you understand the math. 5 steps. 1 life versus the entire company. The algorithm made its choice. 4 steps. Marcus's hand found the door handle behind him, gripped it hard. "You're insane. All of you. You've built a system that requires murder to maintain its accuracy." "We've built a system that saves lives." Lydia's voice never changed, never wavered. Thousands of lives, heart attacks prevented, crimes stopped before they happen, accidents avoided. 3 steps. All because the algorithm can see what's coming. All because people trust our predictions. 2 steps. Marcus could smell her perfume now, something floral and expensive. 1 death to preserve that trust? She tilted her head. That's not insanity, that's mathematics. 1 step. Marcus bolted. He shouldered past her, hard, sending her stumbling against the railing. Took the stairs down 3 at a time. His feet barely touched each landing. Behind him, Lydia's phone chirped. "Security." Her voice drifted down the stairwell, still calm, still measured. "Subject is fleeing toward lower levels. Seal all exits. Authorization Chen 77 Alpha." The building groaned. Deep metallic thuds echoed from below. Locks engaging, exit sealing, the sound of a trap closing. Marcus hit floor 7 and threw himself through the exit door back into the office space. Darkness swallowed him. He crouched behind a cubicle wall, pressing himself into the corner, forcing his breathing to slow, to quiet, to disappear. The stairwell door opened. Yellow light spilled across carpet. Lydia's silhouette appeared, backlit, featureless, a shadow in human shape. "Marcus." Her voice drifted across the darkness. "Check the time." He didn't want to. His hand moved anyway, pulled out his phone. The screen glowed. 2:31 a.m., 1 hour and 16 minutes. "You can't run from this." Lydia stepped into the office space. Her heels clicked against carpet, soft now, muffled. The sound of something hunting. "The building is sealed. Security is on their way. You're going to end up in server room B one way or another." Click, click, click! Each footstep precise, deliberate. The algorithm saw it, and the algorithm is never wrong. Marcus crawled between cubicles, staying low, moving toward the opposite side of the floor. There had to be another way out. Fire escape, service elevator, window, something, anything. "Do you remember the Parker case?" Lydia's voice followed him through the darkness. She wasn't trying to be quiet, wasn't trying to hide. She knew she didn't need to. 3 months ago. Algorithm predicted that woman would die in a car accident on the I-5. Confidence interval 92%. Marcus reached the far wall. Windows stretched along it, looking out over the city. Lights glittered below. 14 stories of empty air between him and the street. No fire escape visible. She heard about it somehow. Tried to avoid it. Took sick leave. Stayed home. Didn't drive anywhere. Click, click, click. Closer now. Her husband came home and found her dead in their garage. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Marcus pressed himself against the window. Glass cold against his back. Their car was running. She'd gotten into it to get something from the trunk. Must have accidentally hit the ignition. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Complete silence. Marcus held his breath, listening, waiting. Nothing. Then, breathing, not his own, someone else's, close, too close. The algorithm knew she would die, Lydia said. Her voice came from directly behind him. It just didn't know the exact mechanism, but it was right about the outcome. Marcus spun around. Empty darkness, no one there. It's always right about the outcome. The voice came from his left now. He turned. Nothing. That's what makes it valuable. From his right. He was surrounded, or she was toying with him, or he was losing his mind. Marcus couldn't tell anymore. Couldn't think. Couldn't breathe. Check the time, Marcus. He looked at his phone. 2:47 a.m., 1 hour left. A hand grabbed his shoulder from behind. Marcus screamed, spun, swung wild. His fist connected with something, soft, yielding. A grunt of pain. He ran, crashed between cubicles, knocked over chairs, sent keyboards clattering to the floor. The noise exploded in the silence. Behind him, footsteps. Multiple footsteps now. Security had arrived. Heavy boots on carpet, radios crackling, flashlight beams cutting through darkness. Target spotted, northwest quadrant. Moving to intercept. All units converge on floor 7. Marcus found the elevator bank, punched the button. Nothing. Locked down. The stairwell door burst open. 3 security guards poured through, flashlights blazing. There. Marcus dove into another row of cubicles, crawled. The carpet smelled like dust and cleaning chemicals. His breath came in short, sharp gasps. A hand grabbed his ankle. He kicked, hard, felt his heel connect with flesh. The hand released. Scrambled forward, found a gap between cubicles, squeezed through. The maintenance access panel. He'd seen it 1,000 times, never paid attention. Now it was salvation. Marcus wrenched it open, darkness yawned inside. A shaft leading down, service ladder bolted to the wall. He climbed inside, pulled the panel shut behind him. Complete darkness, the smell of metal and must. Water dripped somewhere far below. Plip, plip, plip. Voices filtered through the panel above him. Where'd he go? Check the elevator. He's still on this floor, keep searching! Marcus climbed down, hand over hand, each rung slick with condensation. His fingers slipped, caught, slipped again. How far down? He couldn't tell. The darkness was absolute. No light. No sound except his own breathing and that constant dripping. Blip, blip, blip. His foot found solid ground, a floor. He stepped off the ladder, hands outstretched, touching cool concrete walls. A corridor, narrow. The air was different here, cooler, heavier. The hum of servers vibrated through the walls. Sublevel 1, 1 floor above where the algorithm said he would die. Marcus felt along the wall, found a door, pushed through. Emergency lighting bathed everything in red. Long rows of server racks stretched into the distance, humming and clicking and whispering to themselves. Processing data, calculating futures, predicting deaths, including his. He moved between the racks, the sound growing louder. A mechanical heartbeat. Thud, click, hum, relentless. A figure stood at the far end of the corridor. Marcus froze. The figure didn't move, just stood there, silhouetted against red light. Hello, Marcus? Not Lydia's voice. Someone else, a woman, younger. Who are you? His voice cracked. Someone the algorithm doesn't know exists. She stepped forward, features resolved in the red glow. Young, Asian, wearing a janitor's uniform. My name is Jenna Park, and I can help you, but we need to move. Now. Why should I trust you? Because in 43 minutes you're supposed to die 1 floor below us. Jenna pulled a keycard from her pocket. And I'm the only person in this building the algorithm can't see. She moved past him, swiping the card at a locked door Marcus hadn't noticed. It opened with a soft beep. Come on, I'll explain everything, but not here. Marcus hesitated. This could be a trap. Another way to get him to sublevel 2, to server room B, to blunt force trauma and 3:47 a.m. But Lydia was upstairs. Security was searching. The building was sealed. He followed Jenna through the door. The corridor beyond was older. Concrete walls stained with water damage. Exposed pipes dripping condensation. The red emergency lighting flickered here, casting everything in stuttering shadows. This way? Jenna moved quickly, sure-footed despite the darkness. There's a storage room at the end. It's not on any official floor plan. The algorithm doesn't account for spaces it doesn't know exist. How do you know about the algorithm? Marcus followed her through the gloom. Because I've been watching what it does to people. She glanced back at him. I'm a maintenance worker. Night shift. The invisible staff that cleans and fixes and keeps everything running. Management doesn't see us, doesn't talk to us, doesn't even acknowledge we exist. They reached the storage room. Jenna pushed the door open. Inside, battery-powered lanterns cast warm, yellow light across shelves stacked with cleaning supplies and old equipment. Which means the algorithm doesn't have any data on us. She shut the door, locked it. No digital footprint, no tracked movements, no predicted behaviors. To the system, I'm basically invisible. Marcus leaned against the wall, trying to catch his breath. Why are you helping me? Because I've seen this happen before. Jenna's voice went quiet. 3 times in the past year. Employees who ran prohibited analyses, who saw their own deaths, who tried to run. She pulled out her phone, showed him a list of names. David Chen, Sarah Miller, Robert Park. Marcus recognized the last name. Robert Park. He was my brother. Pain crossed her face. He worked in data analytics, got curious, ran his own prediction, saw that he'd die in a car accident 3 days later. She swiped to the next photo. A crashed car, emergency lights flashing, a body bag being loaded into an ambulance. The algorithm was right, except it wasn't an accident. Someone tampered with his brakes, made it look random, made it look like the prediction came true naturally. Marcus felt cold spreading through his chest. Prescient killed him. Prescient killed all of them to maintain the algorithm's accuracy, to keep their clients' trust, to protect their profit margins. Jenna put her phone away. I've been gathering evidence for months. Server logs, financial records, communication between executives. Everything I need to prove what they're doing. Then why haven't you gone to the authorities? Because I need proof they can't deny. I need them to try it again, to document the attempt in real time, to catch them in the act. She looked at him. I need you to be the bait, Marcus, and I need you to trust me. He wanted to say no, wanted to run, wanted to wake up from this nightmare. But he checked the time. 3:14 a.m., 33 minutes. What do you need me to do? Jenna pulled a jacket from one of the shelves. Men's jacket. Looked about Marcus's size. Put this on. She handed it to him. Then give me your jacket. We're going to switch clothes. Make it harder for security to identify you on the cameras. Marcus took off his jacket, handed it over, put on the one she'd given him. It smelled like detergent and something else. Something familiar he couldn't place. Jenna put on his jacket. It hung loose on her smaller frame. There's a service tunnel that runs along the east side of the building, she said. It exits to the parking garage, not monitored, not secured. The algorithm won't predict you using it because it's not in the system. And you? I'm going to sublevel 2. She said it calmly, like it was obvious, like it was the only choice. Marcus stared at her. That's where I'm supposed to die, at 3:47 a.m. I know. She smiled, small, sad. But you're not going to be there. I am, wearing your jacket. And when security finds a body at the predicted time and location, they'll assume the algorithm was right. They'll stop hunting you. No, Marcus grabbed her arm. You can't. That's suicide. It's sacrifice. She pulled away gently. My brother died because I couldn't stop them. Sarah Miller died. David Chen died. How many more, Marcus? How many more people are going to die so Prescient can maintain its perfect accuracy? But I'll prove them wrong. I'll show that the algorithm can be beaten, that the future isn't fixed, that one person choosing to do something completely irrational can change everything. She picked up a backpack from the corner. And I'll do it knowing that my brother's death meant something, that I did everything I could to stop them from doing it again. Tears burned Marcus's eyes. There has to be another way. There isn't. Not in 30 minutes. Not with the building sealed and security hunting you and Lydia knowing exactly where you're supposed to die. Jenna handed him the backpack. Everything you need is in here. Evidence files, contact information for my brother's friend at the FBI, instructions for a dead man's switch I've set up. If I don't check in by 4 a.m., everything goes public. News media, regulatory agencies, criminal investigators, everything. She moved to the door, stopped, looked back. Live, Marcus, that's all I ask. Live. Tell the truth. Make sure they can't do this to anyone else. Then she was gone. The door closed with a soft click. Silence. Marcus stood alone in the storage room, holding a backpack full of evidence, wearing a dead woman's jacket. No, not dead yet. He checked the time. 3:31 a.m., 60 minutes. He wanted to run after her, to stop her, to find another way. But Jenna was right. There wasn't time. There wasn't another option. The algorithm had predicted his death. Prescient would make sure it happened. The only way to survive was to not be there when it did. To let someone else die in his place. Marcus shouldered the backpack, found the service tunnel entrance where Jenna had described it. A narrow passage, barely wide enough for one person, running along the building's edge. He crawled through, hands and knees on cold concrete. Water dripped from overhead pipes, plip, plip, plip. The sound followed him through the darkness. Behind him, deeper in the building, he heard raised voices, footsteps, the mechanical groan of elevator cables. Security converging on sublevel 2. Marcus crawled faster. The tunnel opened into the parking garage. Dim yellow lights, rows of empty cars, the smell of gasoline and exhaust. He stood, brushed dust from his knees, checked the time. 3:44 a.m., 3 minutes. Somewhere below, in server room B, Jenna Park was waiting, wearing his jacket, ready to die so he could live. Marcus wanted to scream, to rage, to go back. But he ran, through the parking garage, out the service exit, into the cold night air. The city stretched around him, silent, empty, indifferent. He ran until his lungs burned, until his legs gave out, until he collapsed on a park bench 6 blocks away, gasping for breath, tears streaming down his face. He pulled out his phone. 3:47 a.m. The time of his predicted death. He waited. 1 minute passed. 2, 3. At 3:51 a.m., his phone buzzed. News alert, asterisk breaking. Death at Prescient Analytics. 1 fatality in apparent workplace accident. Investigation underway. Marcus read it twice, 3 times. The words blurred. Jenna Park was dead. The algorithm had been right about the time, right about the location, right about blunt force trauma. It had just been wrong about who. At 4:15 a.m., another notification. News outlets exploding. Federal investigation announced. Prescient Analytics servers being seized. Evidence of corporate murder emerging. Jenna's dead man switch had triggered. Everything she'd gathered, every server log, every financial record, every communication proving what Prescient had done, flooding into public view. Marcus sat on that park bench until dawn broke over the city. Until the sky turned from black to gray to pale blue. Until the morning traffic started and people began their commutes, unaware that a woman had just died, proving the future could be changed. He opened the backpack, found the contact information for the FBI, made the call. 12 hours later, Marcus Wells sat in a federal office building, staring across a desk at FBI agent Sarah Chen, not related to Lydia. He'd checked. The evidence Miss Park provided is extensive. Agent Chen scrolled through files on her computer, server logs showing manipulation of prediction outcomes, financial transactions linked to 3 confirmed deaths, email chains between executives discussing accuracy maintenance protocols. She looked at Marcus. "You're very lucky to be alive, Mr. Wells." "Lucky, the word tasted like ashes." "Jenna Park is dead because she saved me," Marcus said. "That's not luck. That's sacrifice." "Yes, it is." Agent Chen's expression softened. "And her sacrifice won't be wasted. We have enough here to bring charges against everyone involved. Lydia Chen, the CEO, the entire executive board. Prescient Analytics is finished." "Good." "There's one problem." She pulled up another file. "The algorithm updated your prediction this morning." Marcus felt ice in his veins. "What?" "New death prediction? Tonight, 8:32 p.m. Location? Undisclosed." Agent Chen turned the screen to show him the same cold blue numbers he'd seen on his own computer. "Confidence interval, 96.3%, higher than before." "They're going to try again." "Of course they are. You're a witness. You have evidence. You're talking to federal investigators. As long as you're alive, you're a threat to everyone involved." She closed the file. "We can put you in protective custody, safe house, round-the-clock security, keep you alive until the trial." Marcus shook his head. "That's what the algorithm expects. That's what a rational person would do. It's also what would keep you alive. Jenna proved you can beat the algorithm by doing something irrational, something unexpected, something no predictive model would anticipate." He stood, paced the small office. "The algorithm assumes I'll hide, that I'll protect myself, that I'll do everything possible to avoid the predicted death." "Which you should." "But what if I don't?" Marcus turned to her. What if I do the opposite? What if I make myself completely vulnerable? Completely exposed? So visible that killing me becomes impossible? Agent Chen frowned. I'm not following. Live television. The idea crystallized in his mind. I go on camera. Right now, tell the whole story, show the evidence, broadcast it all before 8:32 p.m. Make myself the biggest news story in the country. That's insane. You'd be completely exposed if Prescient wants you dead. They'll have to do it on live television, in front of thousands of witnesses, with federal agents standing by, which means they can't do it at all. Marcus pulled out his phone. The algorithm predicted my death because it assumed I'd stay hidden. But if I go public immediately, if I make myself the story, I'm no longer a loose end to be eliminated. I'm a protected witness everyone is watching. Killing me becomes impossible. Agent Chen stared at him. This is the worst protective strategy I've ever heard, but it might work. A long silence. Then she nodded slowly. Might work is better than probably dead. Make your call. We'll provide security at the broadcast location. Full presence. Anyone from Prescient tries anything, we'll be ready. Marcus dialed. The phone rang twice. King 5 News, this is Rachel. Rachel, it's Marcus Wells. I need to talk. Live interview, tonight. Right now. I have evidence of corporate murder, algorithmic manipulation, and conspiracy. Are you interested? A pause, then are you serious? Dead serious. I need to be on air in 20 minutes. Can you make that happen? We can make that happen. Where are you? He gave the address, ended the call. 28 minutes until 8:32 p.m. 28 minutes until the prediction was supposed to come true. 28 minutes to prove the algorithm wrong. They took the elevator down to the ground floor, stepped out into evening air. A news van was already pulling up, satellite dish extending. Rachel Morrison emerged, camera crew behind her. Marcus Wells? She looked at him with a mixture of excitement and concern. You look terrible. I haven't slept in 2 days. Someone tried to kill me, and I have evidence that's going to destroy a multi-billion-dollar company. Marcus managed a smile. How's that for a headline? They set up on the steps of the FBI building. Lights blazing, camera pointed at his exhausted face. Agent Chen stood just off camera, hand on her weapon, scanning the street. Behind them, more agents visible, armed, ready. Rachel counted down. 3, 2, 1. This is Rachel Morrison, King 5 News, with a breaking story. I'm here with Marcus Wells, a former employee of Prescient Analytics who claims to have evidence of corporate murder and systematic manipulation of predictive algorithms. Mr. Wells, thank you for speaking with us. Marcus looked directly into the camera, into the eyes of thousands of people watching live, into the future the algorithm hadn't predicted. 48 hours ago, I discovered that Prescient Analytics' prediction algorithm had calculated my death. He told the story, all of it. Jenna Park's sacrifice, Lydia Chen's admission, the 3 other deaths, Robert Park, Sarah Miller, David Chen. The way Prescient had been killing people to make predictions come true. The way they'd built an empire on manufactured certainty and hidden corpses. As he spoke, his phone buzzed with notifications. Twitter exploding. News outlets picking up the feed. The story going viral in real time. People watching, paying attention, bearing witness. At 8:29 p.m., Marcus held up the laptop containing all of Jenna's evidence. This contains complete documentation of Prescient Analytics' criminal activities, server logs, financial records, executive communications, everything you need to verify what I'm saying. He opened it, began uploading files to a public server. The progress bar crawled across the screen. 8:30 p.m. 2 minutes. The street around them was silent. No cars approaching, no threats visible, just camera lights and federal agents and the weight of thousands of watching eyes. 8:31 p.m. 1 minute. Marcus kept talking, kept uploading, kept breathing. 8:32 p.m. arrived. Nothing happened. No attack, no violence, no blunt force trauma. Just Marcus Wells, alive, on camera, surrounded by witnesses, untouchable. The algorithm's prediction had failed. Rachel wrapped up the interview, but Marcus barely heard her. He was watching his phone, watching the story spread, watching Prescient Analytics' carefully constructed empire crack apart in real time, stock price plummeting, emergency board meetings, law enforcement agencies announcing investigations, executive resignations. The whole apparatus of manufactured certainty coming apart. Agent Chen approached as the news crew packed up. You did it. You beat the prediction. Jenna beat it. Marcus looked at the laptop, still uploading her evidence. She saw the pattern they couldn't. That the only way to beat an algorithm is to do something no rational person would do. Something the data can't predict. His phone buzzed one more time. Text from unknown number. Asterisk prediction updated. Marcus Wells, alive, algorithm confidence, 0%, system failure. Prescient analytics, mainframe, asterisk. He showed it to Agent Chen. She smiled grimly. Looks like their algorithm finally learned to admit when it's wrong. Too late for Jenna. Marcus pocketed the phone. Too late for everyone they killed to maintain the illusion of accuracy. But not too late for everyone they would have killed next. Agent Chen gestured to her car. Come on, we still need your formal statement. And you need sleep. When's the last time you closed your eyes? Marcus couldn't remember. Before the prohibited analysis, before the cold blue numbers, before Jenna Park had traded her life for his, before he'd learned that the future wasn't fixed, that predictions could be broken, that one person doing the unexpected could change everything. He followed Agent Chen to the car, the evidence safe in his hands. Both predictions had failed. Both futures had been changed. But Jenna Park was still dead. That was the part the algorithm had gotten right. That was the cost of proving it wrong. Marcus settled into the back seat. Exhaustion crashed over him like a wave. Through the window, he watched the city pass by. All those lives continuing. All those futures unwritten. Prescient analytics had tried to make the world predictable, controllable, certain. They'd killed to maintain that certainty. Jenna had proven them wrong, had shown that courage and sacrifice could beat any algorithm, any prediction, any manufactured certainty about how the story had to end. Marcus closed his eyes. When he opened them again, it would be tomorrow. A future the algorithm hadn't predicted. A day prescient analytics had said he'd never see. He'd live it for both of them, for himself, and for the woman who died wearing his jacket, proving that the future remained unwritten. That was the only certainty left.